Turning to tonight's news and numbers, 8 years after Trayvon Martin was shot and killed in his Florida hometown is paying tribute to the teen. Miami-Dade County commissioners approved a resolution to rename a roadway Trayvon Martin Avenue. Martin was killed in 2012 by George Zimmerman, who was later acquitted in the killing on the grounds of self-defense. Well, Delta Airlines has reported a $5.38 billion loss in the third quarter, spelling more bad news for the struggling airline industry in the midst of a pandemic. Most of that loss came from the cost of paying people to quit, as well as 76% plunge in revenue. CEO Ed Bastian is still optimistic that more and more people will be returning to the air as we end the year. And the next new iPhone could set you back almost $1,100. Phones are getting more expensive with each rollout. Apple unveiled 4 models of the iPhone 12 today, with prices starting at almost $700. The tech giant boasts that the new devices come equipped with the ability for 5G wireless networks once those networks are built out. And say goodbye to a staple freebie. I can't believe this. Apple will no longer include charging adapters with those new phones. How about that?